So I guess, when did you first find out that Human Rights Watch was planning to do this report?
Well, I started my position this summer, so I was involved with, I just found out when I started in July and then spoke to them a few times while they were here.
And you've read the report?
I've read most of it quickly, yeah.
And what do you think about it?
We're in support of what they're saying. We have clients who've expressed very similar views to what they're saying there, who've been victims of abuse and who have been treated poorly by the RCMP, so we fully support what they're saying in their recommendations.
So the stuff that's in this report, you know that it's correct, basically?
Well, we've heard the same things. We have Aboriginal women that come in and share their stories with us as well, so they're very similar stories to what was put in the report, for sure.
What are some of the most shocking things you've heard that have happened in northern BC?
I just think women of all women should be treated equally, and to be put into an awkward situation with a person of power, I don't think that's right. And there are allegations of rape and sexual assault, which these people are people that we put our trust into to keep us safe. So it's hard to hear, for sure.
What do you think should be done about this?
We've been advocating for a separate inquiry into the missing and murdered Aboriginal women in northern BC. So, if the inquiry needs to go further into the RCMP by a civilian-led investigative team, we fully support that.
You were talking about some of the Aboriginal women that have come and talked to Carriers County Family Services. Mm-hmm. When a woman comes forward and alleges rape and things like that, do you have them go to police, or how does that work then?
We will advocate on their behalf. A lot of them are very fearful. They will not go to the RCMP based on the relationships they've had in the past and the way that they've been treated. There's fear there, so we will go on their behalf or make the phone calls or go with them and be whatever support we can be. We're never going to force them to come forward if it's going to be a fearful situation.
Perfect. Okay. All right, what are your thoughts on this report?
So this report reinforces the call for an inquiry into the justice system's failure to adequately protect and serve Indigenous women, in particular in northern BC.
Is anything in this report shocking to you?
Unfortunately, it's not shocking. Given the history here in the north, in particular with the Ramsey situation, in that incident, RCMP were implicated also in terms of some abuses and the Highway of Tears. Again, these are colossal examples of a need for a public inquiry. So these allegations, unfortunately, are not new to our agency or to the north.
Perfect. What else could be done aside from an inquiry?
Well, there's a lot of work that could be done. And again, it requires governments, provincial and federal, to take this issue seriously by calling for that inquiry. And again, it's important that the RCMP continue to look at this as an opportunity in how to do better relations with the First Nations, in particular with the Aboriginal women. But that requires leadership that I think is important at the national level to acknowledge that there's a problem, and then reach out to the relevant Aboriginal agencies that have been working on this issue for quite a number of years.
Okay. And Preston, what's your last name?
Gnu.
Gnu? And how's that spelled?
G-U-N-O.
G-U-N-O.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your title here?
Program manager for youth programs.
Is there anything in this report that they have missed? Was an oversight that should have been in this report that would have made it more well-rounded, in your opinion?
I think the report is fairly accurate given the allegations that are made, and in particular the fear for the young ladies to step forward there. Unfortunately, that will be a problem, however you look at it, to try and verify and try to provide follow-up with these young ladies there. But again, in order to do that, there has to be confidence in the system. So we need to see that confidence in the system that they'll take these seriously this time around.
So it was all the T's are crossed, all the I's were dotted. This was a perfect report.
Well, this report is a snapshot, right? So we have to keep in mind it's a snapshot of what came forward in an attempt to try and find out and ask questions. So there's possibly other victims out there that haven't stepped forward there. So I think we need to look at it as a snapshot, not as an actual comprehensive review.